Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We have an unboxing today, and it's a real unboxing, even though it's a magazine game. We'll see that in a second. This is Rome Inc. from Augustus to Diocletian. This is in Against the Odds magazine number 53 for a sticker price, as you can see, of $39.95. And it's a game by Philip Jelly. Now, this has drawn a lot of attention. It is a solitaire game, so bear that in mind. I haven't really been buying a lot of solitaire games. But this looked intriguing enough that I definitely wanted to take a look at it. So it is in, as is typically the case with Against the Odds boxed games. I'm pretty sure you can buy these in just the Ziploc too, which I'd have been perfectly happy with, to be completely honest, in this case, because I'm not a huge fan of these Against the Odds trays. But in any case, let's open it up and take a look. This does happen to be the most approachable place to stab the plexiglass. Now, I've been pleasantly surprised in the past with Against the Odds and them including, say, extra little games, smaller games, and this is like this like title card that kind of slides into the plastic cover and then behind the back of the tray, so you run the risk of damaging this once you take it out of the shrink wrap. It's one of several reasons why I don't really like these trays, and one of several reasons why I typically buy Against the Odds in a Ziploc bag when I do. And I don't have that many of them, but there's some very interesting looking games in there, and the games I have I think are pretty interesting. So the first thing we notice is this tray here. It's got some counter dust in it, but that's no big deal. I can blow that out with a can of compressed air. We got 3 dice here, 2 six-siders, which look like they're from Chessex, and a very tiny, not very tiny, I've seen tinier, D10. I'm going to hang on to that D10 for something. I probably will use just a full-size D10 in here, but we picked it because it fits in the tray. So let's set the tray aside for first of all. Here's the magazine itself. We'll set that aside and look at that actually last, because that's going to take the longest. And we have, here is a Rome Inc. counter sheet, which looks like half-inch counters. Here's the Rome Inc. map. And as is often the case in Against the Odds magazine, here's a little postcard game from Turning Point Simulations, probably. Yeah, TPS Pocket Battle Game by Paul Rohrbaugh. And this is called The Siege of Rhodes 1522. Nothing so well lost. And then the rules are on the back in teeny tiny type, and you're supposed to cut these things out to be the counters. I've never actually done that with a postcard game, nor have I ever played a postcard game. I think it's a legitimate form factor that maybe we should take more seriously, but it would be a lot easier to do that if we would do like tiny pocket-sized games, not much bigger than this, with real pieces, and that I didn't have to cut the game up to do it. Here's some Against the Odds magazine ads. I'm not sure what is still upcoming. I believe this issue came out in 2021. I might be wrong about that too. A Crowning Glory, which is Austerlitz. Lee's Greatest Victory, which is Chancellorsville. Not sure I have a game on Chancellorsville, actually, at the battle level. I do have Stonewall's Last Battle, which covers it at the campaign level. Clash of Carriers, Battle of the Philippine Sea, that might be interesting. And Hitler, Stalingrad, Breslau in 1944. 2020 annual, The Cruelest Month, Air War over Arras, April 1917. That's interesting. Okay. And then on the back, we've got a... and here, collect all the postcard games. There we go. So, and here's a variety of games in pretty similar packaging from Turning Point Simulations. I don't really know if there's like a parent company, like a shared parent company, or what. But I do seem to detect a decent amount of cooperation between Against the Odds and Turning Point Simulations. And for that matter, Clash of Arms, because I've seen several of those postcard games show up in Clash of Arms games. So here's the map. Looks like this is a Mark Mahaffey map, as is often the case. It is attractive, often the case with Mark Mahaffey maps, that is. I think it's pretty attractive. As you can see, this is point to point. So the conceit here is that you're running the Roman Empire basically like a corporation would be run. And I'm really curious to see if that is an approach, to see how literally to take that description, for one thing, and then how well that approach actually fits the theme of the game. We've got a whole bunch of counters here, and this is one sheet of half-inch counters on a fairly thick brown core stock. And I'm not really sure how clearly you're going to be able to make these up, but these are individual leaders or characters or what have you. So it's very interesting that that's here. And again, I think the counters are marked by Haffey too on the counters. At least that's how I'm interpreting the credit. If not, then maybe they should do it a different way. Rise of Toussaint Louverture, Haitian Revolution, Black Eagles. Is this out? This is a super interesting topic. This is a super interesting topic, and I would absolutely pick this up if this thing is out. And I don't know if it is or not. It's a little hard to tell with Clash of Arms, but I'm going to look into that following this video. All right, so Annual 2018 Sea Monsters. Whiff of Grape Shot by Andy Nunez, who is the editor of the magazine. Order of Appearance, Works in Progress, Lee's Greatest Victory, Hitler Stalingrad, Monty's D-Day, which I think is out by now. So here's our Rome Inc., the Roman Empire, 27 BC to 286 CE by Philip Jelly. Looks like we've got a lot of different little character bios in here. That's interesting because there's some of these, there's some really colorful individuals of the period, not just the emperors, but I noticed, we've got Juba II of Numidia. He's an interesting individual. Claudian emperors, the Flavian emperors. This is like a halfway decent little pocket political history of the Roman Empire up to the late 3rd century, actually, which is kind of cool in and of itself. Appendix 1, Incorporating Rome. Okay, that's interesting. So this, I think, is going to end up looking like the designer's notes of the game. And here we have the game itself. So let's see what we got here. We've got what appears to be... I can't imagine this is terribly complicated. So there are military units. Now remember, it's solitaire, right? So these are legions, and they're numbered. I assume that probably didn't mean much other than for color. There's a relatively elaborate looking sequence of play. Here's an emperor's chart. Is this like events? No, it looks like these are periods that you go through and you make certain changes for each period. So that's intriguing. Treasury phase, war phase, victory phase. Okay. Looks like there's multiple scenarios, 4 different scenarios here, which is interesting in and of itself. Here's some more stuff from, if I'm not mistaken, Turning Point Simulations. It's Vercingetorix's game. I've been a little tempted by that. It's actually a Richard Berg design. It's been around for a while. Here's an article on the Praetorian Guard. That's cool. Oh, this is good too. Gaius Marius and the Reform of the Roman Legion. So the previous legions were reformed by Marius into what is sometimes called a Marian legion. Ed Heinzman and the data shows good pop, good pharaoh, bad pharaoh. I am not going to be able to figure out what that is in reference to without reading the article. Oh, wait a minute. And here we have, okay, yeah, this is all over the place. Looks like we've got some stuff on Louis XIV here, too. So, with sources. It's always nice to see the sources. Simulation Corner by John Prados. War on the Installment Plan. I'd be very curious to hear what John Prados has to say. The Fifth Columnist by John D. Burt, of whom I have heard. Monty's D-Day Books. Armored Campaign in Normandy by Stephen Napier. And here's an ad for Monty's D-Day, which I think was pretty new when it came to this. So I'm not going to try, because of this this tray thing here, I'm not going to try to put this back together on camera. We'll do it off camera. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If so, please do give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe to the channel and click the little bell icon to get notified when new content comes out. Thank you to the patrons of Ardwulf's Lair, without whom it would be much, much more difficult to do this and the other types of content that we do here. So thank you, patrons, and thank you for watching. Until next time, happy wargaming.